Who leaked this bombshell draft decision from the Supreme Court of the United States? Whether you know it or not, there are clues all over this document. And I'm going to show you those clues in just a second. Plus, I'm going to outline the prevailing theories as to who the leaker was. And that's kind of important. I mean, this could lead to the end of Roe versus Wade, Casey, and who knows what else. But the first thing I want to tell you is it's real, it's legitimate. This is from the Supreme Court of the United States. They say the document in yesterday's reports is authentic. You can see right here. But, and this is a big but, it does not represent a decision by the court or the final position of any member on the issues in this case. So it's real, but it's an early document. Now take a look. Look around this draft decision from the Supreme Court of the United States. What grabs your eyes that might be a clue as to who leaked this? I'm going to show you. The first thing you should pay attention to is who it's from. Now you can see right here, this is from Justice Alito. He penned the majority opinion in this draft. Again, it's a draft, and sent it over to all of the other justices, which you can see up here, including the Chief Justice. That means all of their offices got this draft. That means all of the law clerks that work for them got this draft. But there's one really important thing right here. It was circulated on February 10th, 2022. Why would somebody hold on to this bombshell draft decision from the Supreme Court and wait from February 10th all the way until May 2nd? Think about that for a moment. There's something else, though. What's this right here? It says this is a first draft of this document, but there's something you're probably not seeing. Reason outlined this a little better than I can. First at the top of the page is the phrase first draft, and it's highlighted in yellow, and you see that is indeed the case on the document. This was done with a digital highlight feature and not a real highlighter. How do you know? The rectangle around the phrase is perfectly angled. If you zoom into this document as much as you possibly want to, you'll find that you see that this is perfectly straight along the sides of the highlight. As I bring it over here, take a look. That wasn't done with a highlighter. That was actually done with software. Why? Well, that's part of the bigger question here. Back to reason. They say I can reasonably infer this document was printed on a color laser printer. Most people would simply print a 98-page document on a traditional black and white printer. Most high-quality printers leave a watermark, tracking dots on every page. So on my desk here, I've got this thing that was printed out. And this, just like every other thing that's printed out on your printer, it leaves a watermark behind. Human eyes can't necessarily pick up on it, but they can use that to track whoever leaked this out, or at least whoever printed it. Let's get to those theories. One theory is that this was done by a man named Amit Jain. And Amit Jain is somebody who works for, well, Sonia Sotomayor, who is indeed one of the justices on the Supreme Court. Why do they think he was the one who leaked this draft decision? Well, it's because in this article from 2007, he said, if anything, our legal training has taught us that civility has its limits. He's talking about activism here. And that disruption, creative protest, and rule breaking are valid and often necessary tactics to effect change. That sounds pretty activisty. Is this our guy, Amit Jain? I don't know. Here's why. I put together this amazing graphic to outline what's going on here. Now we know February 10th is where we start because that's when the document was circulated and when the leaker would have gotten their hands on this thing. Okay, but why did they wait until May 2nd to leak this? The energy from this that would be generated by the activism of leaking the document and destroying your career is going to largely dissipate by the time you get to November when voting goes on. And in fact, in June, when the Supreme Court issues the decision on this, it would have been closer to Election Day. So why would they want to lessen the overall impact? And if they wanted a 1-2 punch, why May 2nd and then in June when the Supreme Court decision actually comes out? Why not back in February 10th when they were receiving this? If it was somebody who was really interested in getting this information out there to affect the election, why wouldn't they have done it even sooner? Amit Jain, maybe he did it. Maybe he didn't make up his mind. Maybe he didn't want to let down Sotomayor. Maybe. But I think there's some other things that are more likely. Follow me deeper down the rabbit hole. So this is from the Wall Street Journal. It's from a couple of weeks ago. They're talking about this case that led to this draft decision. And when they discussed this in the Wall Street Journal, they said the justices first declare their votes on a case during their private conference after oral argument, but they can change their mind. That's what the chief did in the Obamacare case in 2012, much to the dismay of other conservatives. He may be trying to turn another justice now. So if you know that the Chief Justice John Roberts, because you read this in the Wall Street Journal, is trying to convince one of the other justices to change their mind, why would you leak this draft decision? Unless you wanted them on record as having already supported the majority opinion from Justice Alito. You get it? They wanted to lock them into that decision. The person who leaked this leaked it after that Wall Street Journal article because they knew it would lock in those votes. It would keep this on the trajectory, on the path to overturn Roe versus Wade and Casey. And that's why they released it now as opposed to back in February. To me, that makes a whole lot more sense. Here is somebody else talking about this. Steve Vladeck. Suppose you're a conservative justice committed to overruling Roe and Casey. There were 5 votes for that result at the conference, and Justice Alito circulated a draft opinion memorializing it. Now dissents are coming, and you're worried about losing the majority. What do? Well, you might release the draft decision that locks all these people in. And why are they locked in? Well, if they flip-flop their vote, their previous vote is now known. It was known that you supported this. And the only reason that Roe sticks around is because you pussied out and you took your name off of it and joined the other side brought along by Chief Justice Roberts. So that makes a whole lot more sense, especially with our crazy timeline here. All right, continuing very quickly as I wrap this up. And again, I want your thoughts on who you think is responsible below. SCOTUS blog, Supreme Court of the United States, says 2 final thoughts. 1, Politico reports the 5 original votes to overturn Roe are unchanged as of this week. Those 5 votes to overturn Roe are unchanged, they're saying, as this week, but does not report, and the leaker would know, that they have all said they will join the Alito opinion. At least one is apparently uncommitted, hence the leak. So again, the theory that the leak was to keep all these votes in line and make sure that Roe was trashed. Continued, those interested in who leaked the draft should wonder why Alexander Ward, remember that name, a national security reporter, shares the byline. The leaker would insist that their identity be incredibly tightly held. Politico would not assign someone who didn't have to be on the story. Alexander Ward is a national security reporter. Why would he be on this? Well, he does have a connection to Amit Jain, the clerk for Sonia Sotomayor, and he did quote him in an article previously. So maybe he was utilizing that connection once again, and that leads you back in that direction. And finally on this, in the Out There files, this is an interesting take. Andrew Closser, former Trump White House and federal agency lawyer, says, I've been informed that it's weird that Politico NatSec reporter Alex Ward broke the SCOTUS story, and my new working theory is it wasn't a Sotomayor clerk, but the SCOTUS email system is compromised. Could it be that somebody actually accessed the system that holds these draft decisions and then just leaked it out in the name of activism and put it out there just like this? I don't know about that. I mean, it seems more likely that this is somebody who's currently clerking for one of these justices or somebody who's in charge of digitizing these documents. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and share this along with your friends if you appreciated this video. For videos just like this every single day, facebook.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit that follow button. youtube.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the comments as always, and we'll talk to you again real soon.